lightning starting to come in right now, and so I will hurry up and try to finish this up. This lady across here is too loud, so I'm going to disconnect and wait for her to shut up. Okay, it's Sunday. I don't know if it's the 3rd or the 4th. I'm not sure which. But at any rate, I completed 50 raised beds. And so they're all in place and they're all planted with all kinds of different vegetables and whatnot. Many of them have sprouted and started to come in really good. Along the fence area here I had potatoes, but I've been harvesting those. I've only got the last one batch to go, but I planted those a little later, so I don't have to worry about them yet. These are all black beans, and I planted the bare spot. That's where we had radishes. We just harvested the radishes, and I'm putting down melon seeds in placement of them. And then on these bare spots here are these black beans. I've also planted more melons. These are too many black bean plants, so I'm not going to do anything with this bed. And then this, I also planted more honeydew melons, and these are squashes growing. You can see the yellow flowers, and so we're going to get some squashes here pretty quick. As you can see, it's like up against through the fence there. There's a big squash, and another one growing just right there. But there's lots of them in here. So, at any rate, all these all these spring plants, like these lettuces, all of this stuff has to be picked right now because they will bolt, which means they'll go to seed, and so all of this stuff has to go. I had to put a replacement summer crop in their place, but that's no problem. I got lots of summer crops yet to for seed. These are all new beds, and they're all planted with squashes and whatnot. Out in the distance, I have lots of melons growing, all kinds: watermelons, honeydew melons, cantaloupes, and also I have a bunch of cucumbers growing. Well, this fence line has well, there's more melons right there, which I'm just going to leave. I have blueberry plants growing. I don't know if you can see these, but there's lots of blueberries growing. There are grapes, lots of grapes. And then at the very end, I have lots and lots of grapes growing along with corn. So, and this is asparagus. Can't eat it the first year. You just plant it, you let it die out. When winter comes, they'll die off, and then when spring comes along again, they'll regrow, and that's when you can eat them. And this, my wife is picking. I don't know what she's picking. Spinach. Okay. So that's it with the raised beds, but that's what 50 raised beds looks like, and I've got all kinds of trellises I put up, so a lot of these vine plants can climb these trellises, and then the fruit will hang from the fencing, and then all you have to do is come up and pull it off the fence, making it a lot easier. Alright, I just harvested 4 bags of potatoes and put them into this bag. I figure there's about 15 pounds or so in the bag, and I gathered eggs from the chickens, and I fed them at least this many also. I fed them right back to them. So not a bad day for harvesting, and I also got a lot of garlic. Harvested a bunch of garlic. So at any rate, that's that. So I expanded the chicken coop, built a fence around the back, and now it's about 800 square feet back here, 700 square feet of more space for the chickens. And the white chickens, they were just little chicks last time I showed you, but they are now a lot bigger. So I ended up cutting a hole in this fence. This is the back of their chicken coop, and so you can just walk straight into the back, and all kinds of space back here now for them. So they're much happier, and they got lots of space to keep themselves separate from one another. They're all congregating inside for some reason. I don't know why. But it's getting a bit stormy out, and we're expecting more rain. We've had 2 days of rain. Things are still a bit muddy, but that's the way it goes out here. So I'm creating a grove of fruit trees back here. I've planted a whole bunch of them, and I've probably got another, I don't know, maybe 75 or so to plant, and I will plant them all on this side of the property. They'll go out past beside the pond area. So all that's left to plant are some of these trees. And like I said, I'll plant about 75 or so, and then sell the rest of these trees, and that'll be that side of the property. Out in the distance you can see a storm is coming. It's raining out there, so I don't know how much longer I have to record, but I'll do my best to get everything in. Okay, now I'm in the greenhouse, and I wanted to show you, these are moringa trees that I'm growing. Got a whole bunch of them on the ground here, and then up on the shelf I have a whole bunch more growing, and in the next greenhouse over I have a whole bunch more. So I probably have close to 100 of these growing right now. These are only about, I don't know, maybe a month old. I'm not sure. But you can see some of them grow, they all grow very fast for a tree. So that's good. And I'm growing gooseberries right here. And a lot of different melons and such I'm also growing into these grow baskets. I've got Chinese herbs, medicinal herbs, and they're just starting to germinate. And this is horseradish, and let's see, I'm growing turmeric and ginger. So one has not sprouted yet, either the turmeric or the ginger. I'm not sure which. And then these are melons. These just sprouted. Kind of neat to see them, you know. One day it's nothing but soil, the next day you come out and they all come up, you know, so it's pretty neat. Got a little bamboo tree here. We're sprouting some other stuff. I've got bamboo growing here. This is a banana tree, and lots of other trees I'm trying to grow from seed, like from grapefruits and pomegranates, all kinds of different citruses I'm trying to grow into these pots. This is a Hass avocado tree. This is a fig tree, and lots of figs growing on these already, as you can see. So yeah, I'm very happy about it. You know, we counted them up one day. I think there's 18 figs growing on these. This is a kumquat. This is a oh gosh, this is a calmadine. It's like an orange, I guess, and it has all kinds of little fruits on it. This is also a calmadine, and there's a fruit, all kinds of them growing on here as well. These are lemon trees in the back. I'm trying to grow bamboo in all of these, but I don't know, they're hard to get germinated. These are sweet potato vines, and these are kumquats, and all kinds. I have strawberries growing down below. I have all kinds of citruses, kumquats, loquats, and I have 3 avocado trees back here. And all of these are doing exceedingly well, better than I expected. So I topped all the avocado trees so they can get thicker and bushier and grow more avocados. Okay, off to the next greenhouse. Okay, I'm in the second greenhouse, and I put some big grow bags out, and I'm growing all kinds of melons in these. This so happens to be a pumpkin, and I just got all kinds of stuff growing. I mean, it's amazing, all the stuff that is popping up. Look at this, it attracted a little butterfly. But all kinds of things. And these are grapes, and these came to me as just sticks. And there are 2 raspberries, and the grapes are growing very good. They even have grapes on them, some of them. And then growing citruses as well. And these are all these big bags down below. They're all tomatoes all the way across. And I'm going to keep them in here so that they produce tomatoes, because in the Texas heat they won't grow. These are all the trees that I had next door, and as you can see, I have a whole bunch more here. This is the superfood super herb, and which I take every single day, and it's so rich in vitamins and nutrients and amino acids that pretty soon I'll be wearing a cape and flying to a town nearby you. And then we've got other stuff growing here. I forget what I planted there. And then I have a lot more tomatoes, and then carrots, growing carrots in here, and more Chinese medicinal herbs, and they have come up. Some of them have germinated, just starting to germinate. I don't know if you can see any of this stuff, but yeah, stuff is growing. And another melon, and this is an herb, and so I've got all kinds of other stuff growing in grow bags. Now what's interesting is I took cuttings off of fruit trees, and I put them over here into a grow bag, a large grow bag, and I filled it with sand, and all of these cuttings, I used this right here, and it's called Rapid Root. And so I dipped the ends in water, and then I dipped them into this powder, and then I stuck them in, and I have to keep them watered, keep them moist. And they're due for watering right now, so when I disconnect this, I'll get them all wet again. But lots of them have already started to root because they're growing new leaves. which is really exciting. I got a lot of these growing new leaves, which means it's working. So I saw it on YouTube, and this doctor, this is the way that he would root his cuttings from his fruit trees. And he was expanding his stock by 500 trees every year using this method.